Na yakoda sorry ya na bibia na sabe pono.
Ah?
Pono na nkofo.
Is that Barbie Dapper? Barbie. I miss her.
Yes. Na
Yeah, pray,
pono na
pray for me.
nkofo. Were you aware of that situation? Because me want to be say me friend to
That is
GHOne.
that is a very ridiculous question to ask. Was I aware? How can I be
No.
aware of that?
No, I was asking if you were watching that very day. If so, now what share?
So let me tell you what happened that day. So the president was going to address the nation that day, right? So I got information from the Jubilee House around 6 p.m. that the president will be speaking at 10 p.m. So I immediately alerted the office that the president will be speaking at 10:30 p.m. So make sure that whatever program is on, you take it down and take the president's address, live. And so I tuned in at 10 because I got home around 8, took a shower, and then I started reading a book that I recently bought. So I read the book for about an hour, and then I went up to my room. It was maybe 10 or 9:55-ish, right? So I tuned in, and then Duvet was on TV. It went on for a while. I was just going up and down. I wasn't really paying attention to it because I just said, oh, Nancy and her life, they're doing their thing there. Then I saw the visuals and I was like, I gawked. I was like, huh?
So you saw it yourself. What got
I saw it.
say?
Yeah, I saw it. So I saw it and immediately I called the office. And this was 10:07, 7 past 10 p.m. So I called the MCR and I said to them I said to the guy that take down that show immediately. And he said, what should I play? And I said, play music or do something, whatever. Take down that show. But of course, there were a lot of people watching. And so people had recorded videos. So immediately I called the producer and I asked the producer, what happened? And that's the lead producer of the show. And usually I like to encourage leaders to give younger people opportunities, that you don't have to do it all. Sometimes allow people to come into your space as well. So she said, oh, I asked this other person to take over the editing of the show. So I said, okay, let's meet in the office tomorrow. And I said to her, so she said, what are we going to do? And I said, well, the harm has been done. There is absolutely nothing we can do about it. The most sensible thing to do is to apologize to our viewing public because this is a blunder. So the next day, I want to understand what happened, how that video ended up on the screen. I don't want to get into the details of it, what happened at the meeting, but I can tell you for a fact that it was a sabotage. Somebody, it was a sabotage. I've dealt with it. I noticed that I didn't notice. People called me, oh, Nanaba, they said you show porn. And I said, do you honestly? I don't even watch porn. I don't watch porn because I don't understand the concept of porn. I know people who watch porn. I don't judge them. That's fine. That's they know what they get from porn. And I also believe in the ethics of the media. And that is why I wrote that apology that evening, because if I were watching on another station and it happened, it would have offended my sensibilities. True. That is why I, offered that apology. And saying sorry is not a problem for me. I don't have a problem at all apologizing. When I believe that I'm in the wrong, I will apologize. And this was wrong on all fronts. It was a sabotage. It happened. We've dealt with the situation. People decided to come for Nanaba. Guess what? Not a single one of them affected me. I couldn't be bothered. I think people are bored. Unemployment is a big problem. It is a challenge. Unemployment is a challenge. People say all sorts of things on social media for attention.
Now, who is a feminist?
That's an interesting question. Feminism, Feminism has been battered by so many people. And a feminist is anyone who believes in equality. So you don't have to be a woman to be a feminist. There are men who are feminists. You believe in equality. You believe that men and women should be given equal opportunities. So if it comes to education, if boys are going to school, girls must go to school too. If it comes to work, if a man can be CEO, a woman can be CEO too, if they have the same credentials. If the woman has better credentials than the man, and the woman is competent, the woman should occupy the position. If the man has better credentials and is more competent, the man should occupy the position. So feminism is about equality of sexes. I've seen people. There is a big difference, and I have to say this, that I see commentary on feminism, and it breaks my heart that I just say that people don't understand feminism.
We abuse the word. We abuse the word feminism.
Yes. Feminism is a movement. So many movements. It's a movement to achieve equal rights. Look, and it's not just for women. There are men, so many men, who deserved an opportunity. It didn't go to them. It went to a woman.
Wow.
Who probably didn't deserve it. That is unequal. There is inequality there. Do you get it? So feminism is more about equality of sexes. But yes, you find more women leading it because you realize that across the board, it is women who are most of the time disadvantaged. But there is a big difference between feminism and misandry.
So explain that.
Misandry.
Misandry.
Misandry. M-I-S-A-N-D-R-Y. So there are people who are misandrists. Misandrists are people who just hate men. They just like misogynists. And misogynists, they just don't like women. Misandrists, they don't like men. There's a difference between being a feminist and being a misandrist. There are some women who just hate men. Anything a man annoys them. There are some men who just hate women. Anything a woman annoys them. Misogynist. So you realize that maybe you, Kobiche, you are in an organization and you feel that you've reached the point that where you become a general manager. They put you in charge, and everybody's that you find well somewhere because but people need to take out their rose tints and see that you are competent, you deserve the job. And it's the same way. If a woman takes it, a woman is there because of merit, not because. And it's so stupid when you hear people say that a woman at the top slept her way through to the top. But nobody says that of a man who is at the top. If a man is a CEO, no one will say that he slept his way to the top. Why? Don't men sleep around too? Men sleep around too. Women sleep around too. Who are the men sleeping with? They are sleeping with a woman.
So men can also sleep with a woman to get to the top.
No, I'm saying that nobody sleeps to get to the top. But it is the usual nonsense people like to throw about. When they see a woman at the top, their first conclusion is that she slept her way to the top. But why don't you think the same way when it's a man at the top? That is basically what I'm trying to say. But I'm also saying that there is a difference between feminists. The reason people can't stand feminists, and those people are blind, because what they really hate is actually not feminism. There are women who just get up and they insult men for no reason. They're insulting men for no reason. They're just misandrists. There are men who wake up in the morning and they're insulting women. They're just misogynists. You know, it's either black or white. You know, there's no gray area in feminism. So you're either a feminist who believes in equality, or you are just on the side, a misandrist or a misogynist. And honestly, I think for women who are working so hard to find their purpose, the usual abuse that you slept your way to the top should not in any way disturb you. Because if you tell me that I slept my way to the top, you are below me. So if you think that I slept my way to the top, start sleeping. What are you waiting for? If it's that easy, start sleeping. I am here, you know, I'm here, you are there. And you are down here accusing me of sleeping my way to here. But you are really down here. So what stops you from sleeping too?
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah, sleep as well. and get to the top. If you can't sleep, then find something better to do to get to the top. And so when somebody says that I slept my way to the top, I just look at them and I think you're so stupid. I mean, you are incorrigibly stupid. I mean, this is how you think. This is how your brain works. And the brain is such an important thing to waste. The brain is everything. What you think, you become. And when I wake up and I think that this is where I want to be by the end of the year, that is exactly what my mind will make me do.
Nana,
yes.
Hold on. And shockingly, will amaze you that the people who keep complaining that this person slept with this person, they are just standstill. They are not moving in life. But they keep talking about people.
That is why you should ignore them. That is why I pay no attention to them. They are just attention seekers. They find themselves in so much cacophony. They just want to make
what's the Nana, Mr. Brafune, say you one.
They just like to make noise. You know, they make a lot of noise, and you just need to Which one? Cacophony. Cacophony. A lot of noise.
Hey, Cacopa.
Cacophony.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So if you are going to the top, whether you are male or female, because the men get it too. You see a man rising and you find a bunch of dimwits sitting somewhere trying to bring this man down. And I say to people, when you see it, ignore. Don't jump into the gutter with people. Because when people don't talk about me, when I realize people are talking about me, I just say, oh yeah, I'm doing something really right to catch the attention. And I don't care. You know, if anybody, so sometimes when people see something and it's another business and they send me messages, like, oh Nana, don't worry about what you're saying. I just laugh that, oh, do you think me I'm bothered? Most of the time, Kobe, I suddenly say, I don't even see it.
Wow.
I don't see it.
You don't hear too?
I don't pay attention. So let me tell you, when I get into my car, right? When I get in my house, I don't listen to the radio in my house.
Wow.
I don't listen to the radio. When I switch on my TV, it is either football or cartoons. If I'm not watching football, I'm watching a cartoon. I don't like movies, you know. So me start watching cartoons or I'm watching football. If it is news time, I'll tune into the news to listen or watch. When I get into my car and I feel that I want to listen to talk radio, I switch on to BBC. If I want to listen to local radio for news, I'll tune into Star FM or Joy FM. Finished. If it is
someone is asking, so you don't watch GHOne?
I do. That's what I'm saying, that I watch the news. I watch programs that I want to watch, you know, but I will not pay attention to gossips. So if it is a program that is about gossip, you will never find me watching it. If it is a kids show, for instance, and if it is on GHOne, why not? I'll tune in and watch. If it is a gossip show, I think it's a waste of my time. I won't watch it. But there are people who enjoy listening to gossip. I don't know what it does for them, but that's their problem. Somebody is asking if I don't watch GHOne. GHOne shows cartoons. We have kids shows. I watch cartoons. I've just introduced, and I realized that a lot of the TV stations in Ghana, not a lot, most of them, all of them, don't have any priority for children. And so when this coronavirus happened, you realize that a lot of parents were at home complaining, my kids, and we can't. So immediately I introduced a kids show, Play and Learn. And it is helping people. Instead of you engaging in dabbling in gossip, you can use your brain for so much. You wake up in the morning and the first thing you should think about is, by the time I come back at 5 p.m., what would I have added to my life or taken out of my life? And people don't have goals. I noticed I have kept a goal book for the last 15 years. When it's full, I put it down and I have a new book. Because every day when I'm getting out of my house, I know the things that I want to do. Yeah, I know the things that I want to do. And somebody will say, oh, Nanaba, she's always on Twitter. I'm not always on Twitter, but I make time for Twitter. So throughout my day's plan, I just say that from maybe 12 p.m. to 2 p.m., I'll be on Twitter. Or 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., I'll be on Twitter. And so you realize that between that time, I'm there responding to everybody tweeting. But at some point, I disappear because I want to So you won't find me all the time on social media. And again, I think that people are living their lives on social media so much that it is exerting so much pressure on them.
Now let's talk about curriculum, especially in Ghana or education. Gone were the days. I mean, music and dance was very effective. Reading was very effective. And I'm talking about the government institutions or the government schools. Do you think that our curriculum is really helping the kids growing now?
I think the world is changing. And so the pedagogy, the teachings, method should change as well. We're in the 21st century. And 21st century skills are different from what we were born into how many years ago. So the 21st century skills involves a lot of analyzing, a lot of curiosity, a lot of thinking, critical thinking. It involves so much. It involves innovativeness. It involves coloring, outside the lines. When you're a kid, you go to school and they give you boxes that color the boxes, and you color everything within the box. But the 21st century is more about coloring outside that box and not inside the box, per se. And so the pedagogy has changed in the 21st century. And I think there are schools in Ghana, there are teachers in Ghana who have hooked onto the new way of thinking. The curriculum is changing. In the past it was all what the teacher says, you take it and you go away. Read, what do they call it? Chew and pour. Is that
Chew
what
and pour. Chew and pour.
Yeah.
Chew and pour.
Yeah. So it was more of that. But now it shouldn't be so. You should be able to apply what the teacher tells you. So teachers, for instance, should loosen up. The fact that you say that matter is anything that occupies space. I don't even remember that the science definition of that. The fact that you've said that to the child in the classroom and the child has written that verbatim, it doesn't mean that if you asked a question in the exam room, what is matter, the student must write exactly what you told the student to write. They must write it the way they understand it, as long as they're not losing the meaning of matter.
No, but that is not happening in Ghana and in most of our schools. Most teachers wanted to give dito. That is why, I mean, I'm sure that's how come a lot of students end up doing the chew and pour.
Well, that's true to some extent, but it could also be that students feel that is the easiest way to pass the exam, because now you have teachers who have taken up higher learning. They've traveled abroad, they've acquired masters. Even in Ghana, they've acquired masters here, and so they want to change their teaching styles. But you still have students who would rather do the chew and pour. It took me a while to understand what chew and pour was, but that is it. So everyone has to change. It's not just the teaching, it's not just the teachers, the students as well must develop a certain skill to ask questions. You still have an era where students are afraid to question their teachers. You question your teacher, it's assumed that you're arrogant, you're disrespectful.
We lack confidence. We lack confidence to ask questions.
So the 21st century thinker is also a very confident person. Timidity is such a low key. Timidity should not be encouraged. And I think sometimes, and it's not across the board, sometimes our teachers make us very timid. For instance, when I was in primary school at Alcid Academy, my teacher of English was a very confident woman. And she made sure that we were all very confident in class. So for instance, if she used a word and we were not comfortable with the word, or we didn't understand the word, we could ask her to tell us what the word was, what it meant, the history of the word, and she would do that. If we felt that the teacher was wrong, we could say that no, we disagree. Not that we know better, but because we've been reading, you have a different opinion. And if the teacher still thinks that she's right, then the teacher would have to convince you that I'm right. But it doesn't mean that the children are disrespectful. The children are just curious and they're asking more questions. And I think that is what the curriculum should be. I think that there is a lot of talk about international schools in Ghana, and that's what the international schools in Ghana do. And so maybe that is what the normal schools, what we know, the JHS, but it is happening in a lot of primary and JHS schools. You go to the likes of Alcid Academy, you go to Morning Star, you go to Northridge Lyceum. They do it. I'm sure some government schools as well encourage that. But yes, you have children who are coming from homes that say that when an adult speaks, don't speak back. And so the children are not just being cowed in the classroom, but it is happening at home, and they bring it from home to the classroom. So it's not necessarily the teacher. But I totally agree with you that the curriculum has to change in a certain way. But it requires a lot of thinking into what the curriculum should be. Because what is right or what works for the United States of America does not necessarily work for Ghana and Nigeria. It is not a one-size-fits-all. You get it. And that's the mistake sometimes we make, that because it is happening in the UK, it must happen in Ghana too. No. Two different societies, two different orientations, things are completely different. So perspective, scope, content are all very important. And so yes, when you say that the curriculum has to change, sometimes I agree with you. I think that we should develop, for instance, I don't understand why in the universities you go to read a course in, for instance, medicine. I think that at the bottom line, medical students, accounting students, law students should be introduced to other things as well. You come out of the university and you probably have some knowledge about accounting as a doctor. You know, you have some knowledge as of finance as a lawyer. You don't necessarily have to go to into financial law to understand finance. So maybe such things should be introduced, but it is not compulsory. I mean, it's a decision school authorities must make. It's a policy decision sometimes, but I think gradually we will get there. Hey.
Now, let's talk about, the practical side of education, then we'll switch the conversation. Okay. Science, for instance, needs some practical, you understand? And it looks as if most of our institutions have a lot of the theory going on in classrooms. Theory. We need a practical side of our learning too.
I don't know if that is the case. Remember, I was a science student in school.
Wow.
Yeah, I read science. I read science in secondary school. Yeah, I read science in school, and we had laboratories. Crazy. We had laboratories. We had laboratories. I think every school that reads science has a laboratory. The question is, if the laboratories are well equipped. Some of the laboratories are ill-equipped. They don't have enough. But yeah, I remember titration in the chemistry class. We did practicals. We did practicals. And I think it happens in a lot of the senior high schools. Maybe they need more equipment. But I'm sure some schools have more. Some schools have less. So the practicals happen. But I completely agree with you that the practical side of things is also very important. So for instance, in senior high school, and I'm saying this because my son, when my son was doing his O-levels and then A-levels, he was doing a lot of internships. He did a lot of internships in secondary school. Yeah, he did a lot of internships. So when
internship in secondary school?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did internships. From 4 he had to do internship when he went on vacation. He did an internship. From 5 he did an internship when he was doing his A-level. He did internships, and it prepared him. It opened up his mind more. He understood things properly.
Which country?
I'm not going to state that, but he did. He did his internship. No, but my son did one internship in Ghana. You know, because he wanted to read. My son loves economics. You know, he loves economics. So at some point in Ghana, he interned with a think tank for 1 month. He was there 1 month trying to understand the economic principles he had studied in the classroom in Form 5. You know, and it worked for him. He came back home and he could juxtapose what was taught in the classroom and what he had learned on the job. So I think that is what our schools should start introducing. Whether you're in SHS 1, 2, or 3, we should be able to introduce you to a working environment for you to understand what happens in the world of work as well, and not necessarily always sitting in the classroom. And again, if you introduce them early to the offices, they become more responsible. It helps them, it shapes their career choices. They will go out there and then they realize that, oh, this is not what I actually wanted to do. And it is never too late for them to change. You know, so I think that extracurricular activities are important as much as the empowerment is important. We need to empower people. You know, in Ghana, I noticed that people don't like to empower others. I don't know. I think it is plain foolishness. It is the highest level of stupidity. If you cannot empower the next person, you are a major failure. If you acquire knowledge, you need to transfer the knowledge to another person. And I realize that people just can't, you know, inspire others. They just can't empower another person. Thinking that, oh, there is nothing. Life is not a competition. I don't recognize competition, and I think that maybe it is just my mindset. But I have never acknowledged competition. I've never been afraid of competition. I do what I think is right. If I see someone with the slightest potential, and I feel this is something I can push, I push you. And I don't give a toss in the world what anybody says about the choices and the decisions I make, because I'm fully aware of the pros and cons of the decisions I make. And so it doesn't, no plebeian can come and tell me that, oh,
now what's it?
plebeian.
What's that?
An ordinary person.
And the word is what?
Plebeian.
So you recite after me.
You cannot come and so if I, for instance, you Kobiche, I don't need to know you personally to give you advice. If I realize that you're doing something on social media and it is great, I don't have to know you personally to encourage you. And I do that a lot, and I realize that people are shocked. I go into people's DMs, they don't know me. I just go into their DMs and I say, I think that what you're doing is good. Stay on it. Don't lose focus. Do this, do that. And they don't know me from Adam. It's because I want to see everyone win. I want to see everyone happy. And I don't need a personal relationship with you to do that, you know. And it's the little things. We must learn to encourage other people. And when you do that, you have a clean heart. You are happy. Nothing negative happens to you. Nothing at all. But what I notice is that in Ghana, in the media especially, people just don't want to encourage others. And I think it is the height of foolishness. It is complete folly that you have something. Share. It doesn't have to be money. You know, sometimes people think that it is money they need. They don't need money. They just need a little push. Just a word or two to encourage them. And they realize that, oh, I didn't need money after all. This is what I was missing. You get me?
Nana, I think, speaking about empowerment, and I'll use myself as an example. I never knew you from Adam. I met you and you had a very great conversation with me. And if you remember, you are one of the few, you are the only person who even told me that I should start this Instagram live, even way before coronavirus came.
Way before that. Yeah.
Way before that. And I was struggling on how I can even start that. I was really struggling. So when the coronavirus lockdown started, I was the first blogger in Ghana to start this whole interview thing.
And you're one of the best bloggers in Ghana, I must say. I always tell you that.
I'm humbled. And so, and again, look at the people you've really helped GHOne. You keep posting them, the girls that God bless you.
Oh, thank you. Amen.
Nice. Now, let's look at your transition from TV3 to GHOne. At a point when you're going to GHOne, we knew GHOne to be the entertainment bars. station. But now, politics, news, how were you able to have that smooth transition to build that confidence?
I don't know if I had a magic wand, but I think that everyone agreed at the time, and we had the 2016 elections coming as well. And so, and again, I must tell you that when I was leaving TV3, I had so many offers on my desk.
Wow.
So many. Yeah, so many.
With huge money. No coffee will be heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't come cheap, you know.
I know. Because I can see your mansion. I can see your mansion.
No, serious. So I had a lot of offers, but I looked at all the offers, and I love challenges. I think I'm such a stupid adventurer. You know, I love challenges. So I like to do the things that people think are impossible. And is it Walt Disney? Walt Disney once said that you must have fun doing the impossible things. Once you're having fun doing impossible things, they happen. And because I'm a big reader, I see a challenge and I'm reminded of a great person's challenge, and I just say that no, I can do this. So when I left them, and I looked at all the offers in front of me, and they were all things that I would usually do. Multimedia does a lot of politics. I mean, I think you've got to give it to Joy FM. Joy FM, I think it's the biggest media brand in Ghana. And I will never stop saying that. They have been consistent for 25 years. And I don't think that we give them the credit for it. You know, they've been very consistent.
You mean multimedia?
Yeah, multimedia. They've been very consistent. They've been great, and they have a very strong, positive brand, you know. And I'm not afraid to say this. As I told you, I'm not afraid of competition. I know there are people in other stations who will never say this about another competitive brand. But I am not a weak person. I'm a strong person. I am not afraid to say when people are great. I'm not afraid to say when people are bad. You know, I'm not afraid to say both. And so if Joy FM is doing something really great, Joy FM must be applauded for doing something really great, you know. And they've got wonderful people, they're wonderful reporters, hardworking people, you know. And so, as I was saying, I saw all of those offers, and I was just thinking that there is no challenge here for me. When I go in there, I'm going to do what I usually do. And then Bola Ray called me, and Bola said, "You are my sister." And Bola and I go way back, you know, way back. And so I looked at Bola's offer, and I said to Bola that, you know what, let's change the station. And Bola said, well, you know, it's been an entertainment brand. Do you think it is possible? And I said to him that, let's have fun doing impossible things, you know. So that is why I went in for GHOne, because I didn't want to be part of numbers. You know, I didn't want to be part of the numbers. I wanted to be part of something new, something different. And that's why I chose to go to GHOne.